So,
Okay, so
take it, Nadia.
basic bridging 101. You want to make sure that your patient can abdominally brace. That would be your step one. Your step two is making sure they can find their glutes and kind of squeeze them together. So that would be 1, tighten up. 2, tighten up. 3, keep it all tight and raise your hips. I'd have them hold for 3 to 5 seconds. Beyond 5 seconds, muscles kind of ischemic and kind of come on back down. For a little more glute activation, what I would have them do is I would press out against my hands, so it's just adding another step. So tighten up your abs, squeeze your cheeks, press out against my hands, and raise the hips up. And come on back down. Now, if I wanted to progress it, some of the stuff that they showed on the tape, do all the above, bring your hips up, get this hand, touch my hand with your leg. I'm checking for torsion. He looks like he can actually hold it pretty well. Come back down, try the other side. And then we see that he drops on that side.
Definitely loses it there.
So right away I know he's not good to progress. So at that point, bridging, basic bridging is where I would stop. Let's say he does a basic bridge and he's having pain with it. Maybe not, just because he's dipping on that one side. One of the things I might do is kind of come on up again. Tighten up. I would get my hands on his hamstring and kind of see if I felt like it was real active. If I want to come back down. If I want to turn off that hamstring, what I'll do is review down into the wall. So I could use a belt, number one, but another little cue that I use is on your back. What you're going to do is you're going to move all the way into the wall, a little closer, and you're going to kick your toes into the wall. Oh, no, keep your feet flat. You're going to, feet flat. More flat. Kick your feet out into the wall. And what it's going to do is going to turn on quadriceps a little bit. By turning on quadriceps, you automatically turn off hamstrings. So, and it would be the same thing, but now you have another step. So, once again, you got to be careful who you give this to, because a lot of people have a hard time kind of coordinating all of it. So now would be 1, 2, kick out, squeeze, and raise. And as you're kicking out, press out against the wall. And usually the hamstring's a little bit more quiet, a little more core there, and then a nice belt around the thighs.
Do you ever change his hand position in order to progress at all?
No, I don't. Yeah. Actually, no, I do. I lie. What I would do is I would bring the hands up with it as well. And if they're really good, bring the hands overhead. If it's someone who's intolerant to that, I might actually just have them tighten up, press out against the belt, and then you could raise your arms overhead. Keep your hips down, right, all the way up, and then all the way back down. Keep pressing up, and do it again. And if you have someone who doesn't have a lot of stability, they usually feel that in their abdominals. And you could add a bridge into that. If you wanted to tweak it even more, you could add on stable surfaces under their feet and just increase a little more proprioception.
The arm position changes really make a difference when you're on a lay bottle, especially like a ball.
Correct.
That's where it really comes into play when you're moving that, because you take away their stability in their upper body up there. We had some questions about, I think last week, about the ball between creating adduction. And I'm wondering if that takes away some hamstring.
You know what? It
and
turns
facilitate the glutes.
It actually turns off your butt. So when we get into McGill's lab,
that's a problem.
It was
kind
a
of
problem.
counteracting
That
what
was one of the questions that we kind of check what happens when you recruit lats by squeezing ball. What happens when you put a ball between your legs for VMO versus pressing out? And we found that there was greater gluteal, glute max and glute med and core activation pressing your legs out against a belt. So that was something that Buff Spine did. What you found in the research might tell you different. Your VMO was a big muscle that got studied. It's kind of like the transverse abdominis. It just gets studied and studied and studied. But when we do our research and even just working with patients, it's kind of neat because you take someone with a lot of instability, you get them to squat or do things, and they'll have pain. You get a belt around them, you get them to press out, and they'll be like, oh, that feels a lot better. And it's just because I think the glutes are helping stabilize the spine a little bit.
Would you ever progress to the point of putting the band around the feet or the ankles instead of the knees?
No, because what I would say is that once if they can do this and if they can single leg lift, then I'm bringing them out of this position. When you think of the developmental sequence and how we develop our core stability, we do first laying down, whether it be prone or supine, before we bring it up into quad, half kneeling, kneeling, half kneeling before we're up to standing, and then after standing, it would be unstable surfaces. So that's kind of what the progression for something like this would be. If they bring the hips up and they can get one leg up and they can hold it there for 10, 15 seconds, why would I have them there? You want to introduce some challenge, you just don't want to overshoot the patient. So people who have instability sometimes don't like this, so it's nice to know how to go the other way. Sometimes it's easier to progress a patient. You're not going to hurt someone by, by under-progressing them, but you will hurt someone by over-progressing them. So sometimes you have to peel things back. Do you want to?
Yeah, let's just put his legs up on this, okay?
Sure.
Just as kind of the same thing. We'll keep it in close, though. As you move the ball away, maybe towards the feet, put your arms out. This will be the most stable position, okay? So, you want to just run through that, just the kind of same, just the pelvic bridge on the ball,
I'll tell you right away why I wouldn't do it, because it's all hamstrings.
Well, take it through there.
All right. So if I was basically do the same thing, it would be all the same. It would be to tighten up and then just kind of lifting.
Too close to the wall.
Yeah, you got to get away from the wall there.
That's what I'm saying. And it's basically just the same thing, only there's a little bit of instability there. I don't like it, and if you felt his hamstrings, they turn on.
It's just that you're going to see these exercises, so I just want you to go through these here.
Will stuff be working here? Yeah. Will I do it for a glute exercise? Definitely not. When I'm in the gym, I actually do these for my hamstrings. I'll get my feet on the ball, I'll roll it in and out. It gets treated as a glute exercise, but for somebody, for a house mom, or maybe not a house mom, but like somebody who's older, doesn't do much, I'll get all kinds of activation. But if it's someone of a more healthy population, it's definitely less glute. So the way I would progress my bridge.
Let me just take them through. Get all those
your
things
chiropractor
all fired
stuff?
up. Yeah, we got to do this. So just put your legs right up there. So in close would be the most challenging. As you were to bring this out and now do, and make sure you would neutral spine, abdominal brace, and then just kind of lift up. So he's fighting this lateral movement of the ball here. So he's got to accommodate to that movement there, and then you can go down. Yeah, you see that? You can drop down. Now, to make it a little more challenging, arms can come to the side here a little bit. Upper body might move a little bit there more, and now try it with this. Just a little bit there. Where do you feel that? You just feel more kind of core? Are you feeling much in the glutes?
More in my lower back.
More in the lower back? Yeah. Okay. And now the last one, just drop down, and you can put your arms straight up together towards right up towards the ceiling. And now his upper body, he's going to get less stability up there and have to fight both ends and try that. Feeling that quite a bit. You could really do feel those quads. Yeah. Okay. Okay, you can drop down there.
And once again, I think from a core stability standpoint, there might be some stuff going on here. But an injured spine, maybe in my opinion, in working with patients, I would probably put them in a prone position, having them planking more in prone type. Same sort of philosophy, though.
Okay, you can take your feet off there. Now the other one here, do you want to just show them?
Sure.
Sitting
sitting on the ball.
Sitting on the ball going down, what they showed on the tape there. And just your back is going to be on here, so you're going to just be...
is there a bigger ball?
I don't know, we could use the white. Are the white a little bigger?
Yeah.
We're going to be kind of doing the bridge in this position and coming down. So. That's a little small for Mark.
Good air. Good line.
You know what? Because the camera's in, put your feet that way.
I can move it if you want. It's up to you.
And then all you're going to do is roll your feet out. Okay? So all the way back. Keep going, so that way at least your head is supported. So actually this position alone I think is really good. So what your tape just kind of had you doing was kind of coming down and then kind of coming back up. It's almost like a pelvic tilt. One of the exercises that I use a lot is right here. I tighten up, once again, squeeze the glutes. Start with your hands down below, and you would just raise up overhead and stay nice and tight in through here. And come on back down. And keep, once again, always stay really tight through there. I'd add a medicine ball to it, and I would also consider working diagonals, so kind of coming from here over top.
Part of it for your patient is to make it interesting and fun.